So let's see how these boats are queuing up behind the line. Last time we had St. Mary's a little caught off guard with that wind shift and the light wind that came through the starting line. This time it looks like St. Mary's sort of the protectors of the starting line.
I would certainly be leaning towards leading in these conditions. Because, boy, when you get those big drops in velocity, if you're tailing in, so easy to get taken head to wind down speed with no lane to accelerate. So even though there's at times enough breeze to where trailing in will be okay, I think you got to err towards leading in here with the opportunity to at least start even and try to accelerate.
Yeah, and really nothing more frustrating than having that control taken away when you're second row and it's light wind. I mean, same goes for fleet racing. It's just unbearable. Well, now the wind is far right. Look
and
at everybody
up in velocity,
heading right at the mark.
So people early here, we see boats tacking out down at the pin, having to do a circle or a couple tacks at least.
Yeah, they're all trying to get to the right.
Yeah, so Nevin and John Wallace typically starting at the pin for their respective teams now end up all the way at the boat. And do we have a boat over? Is that Middle St. Mary's boat over?
I don't see an X flag, Zeke. I think that St. Mary's boat is nailed
clean.
that start. They look like they're
Really
leading
well.
the race.
Yep. Georgetown controlling the right. St. Mary's going to join. So an all in all relatively even start here, certainly more even than the last one. We've got this drag race coming out to the left. Big breeze now filling in through our production booth. Let's see if there's going to be another huge left shift here. And St. Mary's bailing out. I believe that was Greenslade, and now Chris Barnard, Hillary Kenyon join, tacking from the left.
St. Mary's looks to have both boats on the right behind both Georgetown boats.
Yeah, if you kind of just look at the three individual match races, it certainly looks like advantage Georgetown. About halfway up this first beat, and here is this big lefty once again. Most boats riding it on port. See Chris Barnard furthest left on the screen, kind of raging over the gang.
Just that lone St. Mary's boat trying to escape, get things unbalanced, but the problem is they're already in a lefty and they're going all the way across to the left side.
And it's so hard to balance when conditions are like this because you're so quickly getting so far separated. Even if it is time to balance, there's little you can do.
Well, that boat was thinking they just wanted to dig in for more. We'll see if it pays, because there is that one Georgetown boat way off to the right.
And that would be Nevin Snow.
Right now, Georgetown's just thinking about the top pair, though, turning their 1-3 into a 1-2.
And Barnard not tacking to cover there to execute the pass back, so maybe that second black boat from the screen left is ahead.
I think Barnard is laying the mark now, getting wound up, or nearly so. So the race committee has moved on. They're actually in sequence now for the next race, Brown versus Yale.
And you'll notice that boat that we commented, the one boat that was on starboard while everybody else was on port.
Oh boy, there goes a big duck for St. Mary's. So Georgetown is, at least for the moment, a 1-2, but St. Mary's is going to have starboard advantage here.
As I was saying, St. Mary's with a deep 6 from that one little, 30-second span of being out of phase. But yeah, it's crossing is Georgetown, so they'll have a 1-2, and it looks like they'll have the ace. So Georgetown's going to come around Mark 1 with a lead.
So I didn't realize this, Zeke, but Yale will actually be on the course racing at the time when this race ends. So even in the event that St. Mary's were to lose, their folks on shore will be celebrating, but those guys won't even know it. They'll be so deep in their own race against Brown.
My guess is that Yale on land will be celebrating so loud that they'll be able to hear it on the water, and we'll look for some backflips in the middle of the last beat.
It's possible. Anything's possible, Zeke. Georgetown around Mark 2 now with a pretty healthy-looking 1-2-5. Not even gapping that ace in the hole at the moment. Just sailing forward.
Yeah, when that 6 is already sort of gapped out like that, you can get a big advantage if you're the 5 and just covering the high-low.
Right.
So that means St. Mary's is going to try and high-low the 1-2 here, and as the 5, you can stay close and sit on the breeze of those two chasing St. Mary's boats and help your 1-2 get even further launched.
Seems to be working pretty well right now. As we see that 6 is just so far back.
And I think we're about to have a start. If we want to zip down real quick to the starting line, we've got Brown in red against Yale in blue. Again, a win for Yale or a St. Mary's loss equals a championship. And another lefty at the start, a deep 6 for Brown.
But 2 Brown boats off the line well, with a gap between them and the Yale boats. Boy, really hard to get your whole team on the starting line when it's like this.
And when you are having trouble laying the line on starboard.
Yeah.
So another big lefty here at the bottom. And I hear
they're
horns,
already
they're calling it off.
So they're calling off the Brown-Yale race. The wind so skewed at the start. They really needed to be, something less than 90 degrees.
Yeah, not to mention all our boats in the other race on starboard going downwind. So this left shift on the course is still riding, and I think maybe they should adjust the course here a little bit. But let's check in. Looks like things kind of getting closer together in the black and yellow race.
Yeah, that St. Mary's boat is really stuck their nose in there. They were causing trouble, and now if we zoom in just to the top 4 boats in the black and yellow race, we'll see Georgetown had to take action and force that boat away from the 1-2.
So is Georgetown a 1-2-3 now?
I think very possibly they could be. If they weren't, they are now.
Yeah,
as
as
Georgetown
Chris
puts
Barnard.
another hit on that boat. And now he's just
gonna
going to
do
try
it
to
again.
gap. Yeah, he's just going to keep attacking. Worst thing that happens is he fouls. But either way, that 1-2 gets further ahead, and Georgetown looking good here.
And now, of course, the Yale boats, who are currently sitting in blue down there, are watching them go around the mark. So maybe they will have the opportunity to celebrate before this last race if Georgetown can hang on to this incredibly solid 1-2-3. And breeze filling in down on the course. Good news for Georgetown and good news for Yale. So even further separated now is Georgetown in the 1-2-3 up the last beat. And I bet there's some Eli Bulldogs getting pretty excited. So Georgetown now about halfway up that last beat, still with a 1-2-3. And St. Mary's seeing their championship hopes slip away for the second year in a row. Would have been a long shot, but this will seal it up if Georgetown's able to hold on to this massive lead. And I think, did I just hear some horns? So the Yale might have to be in the starting sequence, starting their celebration. And boy, what a blowout.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many of these. Just a few of them coming late this afternoon in these challenging conditions. some amount of luck, but an awful lot of heads-up play. Just maneuvering before the start to get ready for the breeze. As Georgetown just getting into position to balance here. So just to reiterate, what this means for Georgetown is a chance to get out of fourth. They want to try to beat Brown. What this means for St. Mary's is a lost chance at a national title. And of course, as we said, what it means for Yale is clinch for the Nationals. Ironically, the Sailors who are responsible for that win probably won't even know it. My guess is they know it's likely, but they've now got to try to focus on their race because they really don't know for sure.
And there they are.
Georgetown crossing the line, and that's going to do it. A 1-2 for Georgetown. St. Mary's takes a loss, and we can now say, at least unofficially, Yale, the 2013 national champions.
And Yale just starting their race now against Brown. Yale in the blue boats down at the starting line. Don't know if they know whether or not they're national champions, but we do.
Yeah, like I said, I think they probably had a guess. There's the Yale tent. They're looking pretty stoic. They have to know. They have to know that they won. But
I think most of their teammates and supporters are already swimming somewhere or something, because I don't think they're all in there.
So it's the blue boats, Yale, on the course now. Racing against Brown.
And they look to be defeating Brown thus far in this race as well. A hot start for Yale. Brown with that deep six and also losing the other two pairs.
Wow, right off the line. Yale out into a potential 1-2-3, winning all three pairs. So a little bit of an anticlimactic end to
I'd say a lot of bit of an anticlimactic. I mean, this is the most boring wood I've ever seen.
This is no Charleston win in 2012.
I'll tell you, we should just go back to that. We should just play the footage from that wood.
I don't think we're gonna do it.
It's more interesting.
Well, I think I saw someone on the chat room say St. Mary's going to be replaying this race dozens of times over the summer.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for St. Mary's. It was certainly a long shot. They were going into this Final Four 2 races off the lead, so it was a long shot for them to come away with a win, but certainly they would have liked to go a little bit better in that smoke show by Georgetown. But St. Mary's, their regatta's still not over. Or is it? No, it's not, because Georgetown now with 14 wins.
No, that's right. There's still all the places to be decided.
Other than the only one that matters.
Other than the only one that matters.
Here comes Zach Leonard.
They look happy. They don't
look ecstatic.
They don't look ecstatic. As head coach Zach Leonard takes his seat in the Yale tent, they're all smiles.
Zach, why don't you look happier?
We can't hear him, but Zach Leonard saying he's got to remember to breathe. This has definitely been a tense day for all the teams involved. A lot of wondering, waiting, and now finally a sigh of relief as Yale has not only clinched it, but looks like they're going to add an additional win here to really make a statement.
Yeah, they're sailing well right now against Brown, going around Mark II with a 1-2-4 and gapping it out.
Well, a whole lot of close races over the past couple days. A lot of showdowns that didn't really end until the finish line. This Final Four round, not so much like that.
Not so exciting. We got all the excitement in before in the sail-offs.
Still just an incredible place to have this national championship right here at the Magnuson Hotel Marina Cove. This event co-sponsored by USF and Eckerd. Beautiful sailing conditions over the past 7 days, including semifinals. And as we've alluded to, the penultimate event begins tomorrow, the Gill Co-Ed National Championship. Fleet racing, and again, like women's, we'll have 2 fleets out there, so it should be a full rotation. They should be able to wait for the ideal conditions. Excited for that, and of course, the party's just about to begin on shore. When Yale comes through this line, they'll be done sailing, head back to the beach. Oh goodness, I'm wrong about that. Yale is not done sailing.
No, they're not. They've got the last race of the day.
They have the last
against St.
race
Mary's.
of the day, a victory lap.
And I'm wondering if we're going to see all the scores locked in before that race, and maybe they'll do some fun, clever crew pairings for Yale and St. Mary's in that last one.
I think that's possible.
So with a Brown loss here, that'll make it. We'll have a Brown Georgetown race that will have some deciding capabilities for the 3rd and 4th spot. I wonder what the tie-breaking scenario is between Brown and Georgetown. Georgetown currently sitting with 14 wins. Brown with only 13 and looks like about to take another loss.
Getting windy here on shore. The breeze has mostly been out on the race course, but now it's piping in to shore as well. This race has gotten a lot closer. It's still a 1-2-4, but it is a lot more compressed. And as we've seen, you know, this last beat can change things. Even that 6th place is not out of touch. So
that was like a 1-2-3.
Oh boy, that's a 1-2-3. Well,
good for them. They've earned it.
Absolutely.
Once again, Yale not making it last year, even though they were quite good.
Not just missing the Final Four, missing the event.
Yeah, missing the event.
Not getting out of NISA qualifiers. This year, coming back, not having that happen.
Tiebreaker between Brown and Georgetown.
And a little nail in the coffin here. Brown is penalized and spins penalty circles.
Is that a fact? Yes, because they beat Georgetown twice before going into this round.
Is that a fact? Are you 100% sure?
I mean, if we're going off of the races sailed against each other, it's Brown. But if they go to a sail-off, okay.
We're just discussing the tiebreaker situation. We do want to know who's going to get 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
And it sounds like Brown actually will hold the tiebreaker over Georgetown. So despite the fact it looks like Brown's going to pick up a loss here, the next race, which will be Brown and Georgetown, will decide who finishes 3rd and who finishes 4th.
Well, what about St. Mary's?
What about St. Mary's?
Have they locked in 2nd?
It depends on their tiebreaker with Georgetown. Brown cannot beat St. Mary's. Georgetown could tie St. Mary's. And who holds the tiebreaker between Georgetown and St. Mary's?
Inquiring minds want to know. We'll get to work on that.
St. Mary's just
So it sounds like Georgetown would hold the tiebreaker over St. Mary's, in fact. So if Georgetown can win out and St. Mary's loses their final race to Yale, Georgetown could actually slip into the second spot. So some more, just what we needed, more tiebreak possible scenarios here. But one thing that's a fact is that Yale here is going to cross the line. I think they're going to end up 1-3-4. A deep 5-6 there for Brown. You see a desperation ragging there by Brown, but Yale crosses with the 1. They're going to finish 3rd and 4th. And as we said, they've already clinched a national championship, but here still adding one more win over Brown.